Hi, everyone. I'm Monique with MD Consulting. I work with clients all the time who want to sound more confident when they are speaking. So in coaching, I have them practice with me. Sometimes they bring a presentation, sometimes we just start a conversation, and I really listen to how they are presenting themselves. What I find is that there are certain words that they are using that make them sound more passive. And they really want to sound more assertive and direct and confident. So here's what I do for them in coaching. And if this sounds like you, then maybe you can benefit from some of these tips today. The words that I hear that make them sound less confident are things like, uh, you know, totally, love it, like. These words are considered fillers. They don't really serve any purpose in a conversation except they take up space. People use fillers many times when they're nervous. So that's when it would benefit you to practice your presentation. The more familiar you are with your presentation, the less nervous you'll be and the less need you'll have to use fillers. I once worked with a client who started every sentence with the word totally. Now, it really made her seem passive and not very confident, and it distracted the listener, which is what fillers do. So if you're using a lot of fillers, not only are you coming across as not very confident, not very assertive, but your listener will be distracted and you won't be getting your message across to them. Now, there's a few things you can do if you are someone who tends to use a lot of fillers. There are ways that you can record yourself and listen to yourself, because a lot of times just focusing your attention on what you're saying will help you break the habit, because that's what fillers are. They are habits that you just are used to. So you have to break the habit by being mindful and deliberate about what you're saying. Now, another thing that tends to distract the listener is a long pause in what you're saying. So if you're talking too slow and putting a lot of pauses in, that can also be distracting. Now, sometimes pauses are helpful. It depends how you use the pause. Also, speaking too quickly is something that will come across making you look like you're not very confident. So you want to have an appropriate, relaxed pace in your speech. You also want your voice to project. So if you speak too softly or too loudly, those are things that will also distract your listener and that will come across as if you're not being assertive enough or confident enough. So try recording yourself and then listen back to what you're saying and count the number of fillers that you are saying within that time frame of the recording. The other thing that I have my clients do if they can't record themselves and they're speaking, especially if they're on camera, I have them put a sticky note right on their computer, reminding them to not use fillers. Now, if you're on camera, that's easy to do. If you're not on camera, if you're at a podium speaking in person, then you can put a note for yourself on your podium. These things are helping you to just remind yourself to get out of the habit of using fillers. And it can happen quickly. You actually can change the habit rather quickly if you practice not using them, if you record yourself, and if you leave reminders for yourself. In coaching, we start each session with practice around not using fillers. So as a coach, I can hold people accountable within the session to practice using less and less fillers, and I track the fillers, I count them, I give them feedback on their presentations so that they know if they're improving or not. So if you want to sound more confident and assertive when you're speaking, pay attention to your fillers and use some of these tips to eliminate them, and you will come across much more confident. You will project much more executive presence when you speak. I hope these tips were helpful. Have a great day.